So if you're away, you can watch the video at home. Okay, so today is going to be it's going to be a lot of the same. You need to have your formula sheets out, and you need to open up your workbooks to page 5. What page are you on? 12. It is 12. Page 12. Next week. Yeah, you'll hear my voice. Isn't that awesome? Okay, so to convert between measurement systems, we need to understand the relationship between units and proportions, much like we did within a measurement system. So here, the exact conversions, these ones are exact. So 1 inch is exactly 2.54 centimeters. And we measured that last week. 1 foot is exactly 30.48 centimeters. 1 yard is 0.9144 meters. And these ones are approximations. Okay? Now, they're really good approximations. Why are they a really good approximation? Yeah. Because there's more than 1 or 2 decimal places. And we call that precision. So they're more precise if they have more decimal places. In Science 10, you're actually going to learn about precision. So they're more precise, which is that's good. Okay, so when we convert, you're going to need your formula sheets on you, because that's going to really help. So let's start with number 1. We're going inches to centimeters. So when you have your formula sheet, maybe I'll open mine up too, so you know what I'm talking about. Formula sheet. Where are you? Which one is it? I think it's that one. Okay. So we want to check, is there an inch to centimeter conversion? Is there a ratio for inch to centimeter? Does everyone know where we're supposed to look? We're now in the second column. Okay? Now, the second column, it kind of has 2 columns within the second column. Does that make sense? Oh, did it open over there? Yes? Yeah. Dual monitors. There you go. So there's 2 columns within this second column. They're really the same ratio. You can use either conversion. They're just reciprocals of each other. So 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, or 1 centimeter is 0.3937 inches. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which one you use. You can use either one. One of them you would be multiplying, one you would be dividing. Okay? So let's look at this example. So 114 inches times, what unit will be on the denominator? Inch. And what will be on the numerator? Centimeter. Now, if we can actually just put 1 on the denominator, it's a lot easier, because then you're just multiplying. So is there a 1 inch equals so many centimeters? Yeah, so 1 inch is how many centimeters? 2.54. So let's type that into our calculators. If 1's on the denominator, do you have to type that in? I'm going to type it in because I thought this would be faster, but it's not. 289.56. That's what you said. Yay. Okay, so let's try another one. 1 mile is how many meters? Is there a mile to meter on your formula sheet? No. There's a mile to kilometer. So can we change it to kilometers first? Yeah. So 1 mile is actually kilometers. Yeah. So we don't even have to go through the multiplication. We can if you want.
I thought it was, does it say, oh, never mind, I thought it was 0.
Okay. Now, how do we convert from kilometers to meters? Zach, move the decimal place. Okay, so that's where you have your chart, right? And we want to go from kilometers to meters. So we look it up.
I thought a mile was smaller than a kilometer.
Right. So 3 places to the right. So 1,609, because we're going 3 places to the right. Okay. So whenever we need a metric to metric conversion, we're moving the decimal place. Okay. Okay, 3 feet to meters. Is there a feet to meters on your formula sheet? Yeah. Okay, so we want what unit on the bottom? Feet. What unit on the numerator? Meters. So we look up the chart. Feet to meters. It doesn't matter which one we want to use. If we can put 1 on the denominator, we usually do. So let's use this guy. 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. Oh, okay, so 1 foot, 0.3048 meters. I'm going to show you something in a second. So, yeah, it's going to be 1 point something, right? 0.9 something? Okay, yeah, because it's actually... Oh, cool. That makes sense, actually. Why does that make sense? Right? So we're going from a small to a big, so we're going to get smaller. What else? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Right. Then just move the decimal place over. Okay, so what was that? So 3 feet is 1 yard, right? Yeah, no matter which method. Okay, so this one, 1 yard, if you know 1 yard is equal to 0.9144 meters, then you can actually, okay, so 1 yard would be how many centimeters? We just have to convert this to centimeters. How do we do that? We move the decimal place. So meters to centimeters is 2 to the right. So here we go, 2 to the right, 91.44. Those ones are almost too easy because they're kind of already on your formula sheet in a way. Okay? I'm going to show you something with this next guy. I'm going to show you 2 ways. Because there's two different options and you can use either one and I'll give you the same answer. So both, no matter what, if we're setting up the conversion, we're multiplying by a ratio. What would be on the denominator?
Number 6 is 5.
Denominator is the bottom. Yep, denominator. How could I help you think about that? Like whenever you, the common denominator, what's another use of the word denominator? I don't know. I'll think about it. Denomination. Like it's what they all have in common. So it's the bottom. It is. I'm trying to think of a way to help you remember it.
Also the dividend.
Dividend. And then numerator is a top. Okay. So on the numerator, what would go? What unit? Miles, and the denominator would be kilometers. What you want to get rid of. Okay. So on your formula sheet, there's two ratios. There's one that says, you go down here. So you have this guy, 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers, or 1 kilometer is 0.6214 miles. Okay, so I'm going to show you, you could use either one. So if I use the 1 mile, 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers, or if you use 1 kilometer is how many miles? 0.6, help me. What? 214, thank you. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you use. What's the difference between these two? Yeah, like one has 1 on the denominator, one's on the numerator. So 52 times, do the first, 1 divided by 1.609, or you could just go 52 divided by 1.609. Gives you that. Or 52 times 0.6214. Okay, are they the same relatively? Yeah, the reason why they're not exactly the same is, remember that conversion is it's an approximation, that ratio. It's not exact. Okay? So it doesn't matter. So let's go to 1 decimal place. 32.3 miles. Okay, I'm going to get you to try these two. Oh, maybe I should do, yeah, you could try this. Oh, that's okay. You're okay with just following along? Yeah, it's 14. No, what does it say? Yeah, 14. 14. That's okay. Okay. So, kilometers to yards. What's the problem with kilometers to yards? There is none on your formula sheet. But you can go yards to what other metric unit? Meters. Yards to meters. If you look on your formula sheet, because we're dealing with metric to imperial, there's a yard to meter right here. So that means, what do we have to do with our kilometers first? Change it to meters. So how do we change 5 kilometers to meters? 3 decimals to the right, which is? Okay, so you're going to do a different way? Okay, give me a second, Zach. What were you going to do? So you change kilometers to miles and then miles to yards. That would work too. Yeah, so there's often more than one way to get to the same. They say sometimes there's more than one way to skin a cat. It's very inhuman. Haven't you heard that saying before? Okay, that's what my parents used to say when I was little. Okay, that was like a common saying in our grandparents. It's not very appropriate.
Here's another one. Twist my rubber arm. Nobody's heard that one before.
I'm thinking. Okay, so what's the conversion from meter to yard? 1 meter is how many yards? 0.936. I like to put the 1 meter on the bottom. I like to use the one where, so I can put 1 on the denominator, so it's just multiplication then. You could also go 1 yard is so many meters if you like. Type it in. What do we get? Someone tell me the answer. 5,468?
0.32.
Let's just go to the nearest whole number, because if you went to miles and then went to yards, it might be a little bit different on decimal places. Okay, what's the problem with centimeters to yards? Is there a centimeter to yard?
692.9.
No, there is no, there's again a meter to yard. So what could we do with this guy? Change him to meters. How many places do we move? 2, 1, 2. So it's 633.6 meters.
It's a little bit deceiving though, because that's also the number of inches in a mile. So
I know,
at first glance, you think, oh, inches to yards, so that's easy. And
yeah.
then you realize, oh, it's 6 meters.
Right. That is deceiving. Okay, so 1 meter is, we already did this one, 1.0936 yards. What do you get when you multiply that?
Oh no, there's more.
6. I'm going to type it in. Oops. 1.0936. 692 point. So let's round to the nearest whole number, 693 yards. Okay. A lot of the same? Kind of, yeah, right? It's repetition, repetition, repetition. It's going to make it a lot easier. So do we really need to go through all of these? Probably not. Let's choose a couple. Is there anyone who's specific here you'd like me to look at? 12. And 10? 8? Did anyone say 8? Okay, let's do 8. 8 and 12 and then 15. Okay, centimeters to miles. Well, looking at my formula sheet, I have a pretty good feeling there's no centimeters to miles. Okay, so what is there? Kilometers to miles right here. So we need to change centimeters to kilometers. So that's where, okay, centimeters is, that's where we use this. Okay, how many spaces to the right? 5. Actually, you're right. It is to the left. To the left, to the left. Okay, left 5, 3, 4, 5 gives you 78.69325. Okay, times. Well, what unit's going to be on the denominator, Quinn? So if you have kilometers here, miles will be on top, kilometers on the bottom, right? Whatever you want to get rid of, whatever you want. Okay. It's Carson, right? Yes. Okay. What is the conversion for miles to kilometers? Yeah. 6214. All right. So let's type that in. It's kind of
48.8976207 miles.
48.897. Did you guys get the same thing? Okay, so did anyone do it a different way? Like you could have went centimeters to the inch and then inches to miles. Yeah, so let's go to the nearest whole number. What would it be to the nearest whole number? 49, right? Okay, can we all agree on that one? Yeah. So if there's multiple ways, often I'll say to the nearest whole number just because decimals might be different depending on which method you use. Because a lot of these conversions are approximations. All right, 12 kilometers to inch. Is there a kilometer to inch? Whoop. There's kilometer. We could either go kilometers to miles and then miles to inch, or what else could we do, which might be easier? Yeah. Kilometers to centimeters and then centimeters to inch. Okay, that's probably easier because I find moving the decimal place not so bad. So kilometers to centimeters. Now we're going to the right, not left. How many spaces? If you're a rabbit and you had to hop, upside down, yep. 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we have to add? So 50 centimeters. We want to convert that to an inch. This is a nice one because it's an exact conversion. We should all get the same answer. What unit goes on the numerator? Inches. So numerator is the top. So centimeters on the bottom. What's the exact conversion? Yeah, you probably have this one memorized. You could also use the other one. So 50 to... What are the two ways you can type this in? 50 divided by 2.54. Right? You could times by the other one that's right beside it. It all gives the same answer. Let's go to the nearest tenth. This time. 19.10. What's 10? The first one decimal place. So it would be 19.7. You want to get really good at rounding because it really sucks losing marks because of rounding. Right? All right, can you try 15 on your own now? And we'll go through this one. If you actually did the other ones, pause, push record, and we want the yard. 1 meter is how many yards? Oh, I think it's the other way around. So you could either do, if you did 1 yard, you could either type it in as 1 yard over 0.9144. You can do that, divide, okay? Or you could go 1 meter is, I think, where's my formula sheet? Yeah. Either way, we should get the same answer. And what did we get? 9,000. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay, this guy we need to go through, and then we're done. I think. Yep, then we're done. What was 9 and 10? Go back up. 9 was 48.91. And 10 was 39.37, if you did those on your own. Okay. All right. This is where we're going to really want to use our conversions. Our unit analysis is when we multiply by those ratios. This next question. What conversion will Zimmer need to know to solve this problem? So she wants to convert 50 meters per second to kilometers per minute. So what conversions will she need to know, or what ratios will she need to know? We want to convert. Yeah, maybe I wasn't very clear, sorry. It's kind of, yeah, so if you, what are the two conversions that we have to do? Yeah. Meters to kilometers and seconds to minutes. Okay, so this is what you're going to do in physics in science 10. So you have 50 meters per second. So the best way to set this up is if we have 50 meters per second, okay, how long would it take you to go 50 meters if you're going 50 meters per second? Yeah, that's pretty fast. Yeah, but that's okay. So I'm going to set this up as 50 meters per 1 second. That's what we have. Okay. Times. So we're going to start with only one conversion at a time. So let's start with the meters. If meters is on the numerator, where are we going to put it now? The bottom, the denominator. And we want to go to kilometers. 1 kilometer is how many meters? 1,000. Okay, you can use your chart to help you figure that out. Now, seconds is on the denominator this time, so we're actually going to put it on the numerator. And we want minutes. Now, what's the relationship here? 60 what? 60 seconds for every 1 minute. Now, can you see here, the meters are going to reduce out, and the seconds the unit will cross out, and we're going to be left with kilometers per minute. Kilometers on the numerator for every 1 minute on the bottom. So typing this in, you have 50 times 1 over 1,000 times 60 over 1. Okay, we type it as we see it. Did you get 3? Yeah, 3 kilometers per minute. There you go. All right. How was that? Manageable? That was fun. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Save.